Hey Virgos, welcome to your November 2020 reading. I know it's a little late, but if you weren't aware that I live in America, it's been kind of a big week. And forgive me, but there were other things going on. And coming to your reading, let's be honest, has been an energy I've been a little nervous, honestly, to step into. So real quick, if you haven't, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to book a private reading, all the information is below in the description box. So Virgos, there's a lot of really good things coming towards you this month. A lot of really good things. And it all kind of hinges upon, I mean, especially all the work stuff, all the money, all the things that you probably want me to talk about right now. It all hinges on our ability to get better emotionally. When things get better, clearer, and more openly communicated for you guys this month, success is there. Work just starts being wonderful, amazing, and things that started out as kind of shaky, unsure, and things that you really weren't sure were going to be successful, or at least you didn't expect them to grow and to change and to take on this new life of success that they're just having. I mean, it's just beautiful. If you want to see some more nice things, Ten of Pentacles, yeah, that's there too. We can talk about it in that sense of money, but I mean, all that stuff, again, hinges on the emotional. So let's talk about that. As soon as I brought that up, it seemed to just suddenly just stop pouring rain. Where to begin? You guys are known for being someone that anyone and everyone can rely upon. Everybody has a Virgo that they rely upon. And even in just this small way, I mean, I relate to you guys very much because I'm a Virgo moon. I get your emotions, your fears. I really do get all of that anxiety, all of that worry that you guys carry because you're so busy taking care of everything, and for not just yourself, but for everybody else. Being everybody's hero, being everybody's shoulder to cry on, being the stability for so many people. And when you are constantly giving out that energy and trying so hard to do everything that you know you need to do, not just in work, but in friendships and relationships, being there for others. I mean, just before I started this reading, I literally sat down, started it, and then realized, or was asked to move my car so someone could get out. I had to go do that just now. And you just have to do, when people ask you to do something, you're there. It's not, I'm busy, go get the keys yourself and do it. It's nothing like that. It's, okay, sure, I'll do that. Absolutely. Without a second thought. And that's how you guys run. Okay, sure, absolutely, I'm there for you. Any time of the day, any time of the night. And being that support, being that person that never gets too fed up or frustrated with how much you give and stabilize that relationship, that work situation. You're always the reliable one. Let's just be honest. You're reliable when nobody else is. And when somebody has nobody else to rely upon, you're there. But we got to talk about some really big things here. Right? Emotional things. Things that literally just made my voice like crack. So I know it's throat chakra stuff this month. Let's just say that. Get yourself a piece of lapis lazuli because you need to learn how to communicate and how to communicate your feelings this month. And it's time to talk. It's time to lay your cards out on the table about what makes you happy and what you need in the face of where you're at. This deep sense of loneliness and being alone. in whatever it is that you're going through. Being alone in the midst of a change and not really knowing where the stability lies for yourself. So again, I'd recommend you examine, like you're so good at doing, your emotions, and then not just holding them to yourself, writing them down in a journal, but communicating to someone that will help you through this, or the person, especially the person that it involves, if it's a relationship. Because there are things that you want and things that you have needed to communicate about your desires, about where you want to see your life going, that you haven't, because you're so busy being held back by those 10 of Wands, and you can't move forward as quick and lightly as the Fool if you're carrying all those wands with you. What are we holding that we're not communicating? You know? And, oh, I just threw my into my face. Thank you. And it's difficult, this choice that you feel you're between, right? Between your heart what's that on the ground? Oh, yeah, wow. Between your heart and your mind. Just pull one more. And all it takes is this. Communication. Yeah, the Eight of Wands is seen as a lot of things, but for you guys, it's communication about all this. And this came up it actually came out reversed first, but I want to talk about it and just look at it in its upright state. Because we do have to communicate about our hurts, about our emotions, about what it is that we really desire and that we need in terms of love. What do you need? Keep talking. Keep talking, because you'll find out. You will work through these things that feel like you cannot work through them. You will heal these situations. And whether, and you might be listening to this and being like, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm like, no, earth signs look at things like this and are like, you want me to change? I'm sorry, what? You want me to drop that thing that I put all this effort into, even though it's like, obviously not making me happy and I'm not facing my emotions about it. You expect me to do that? No, I'm not going to do that. Absolutely not. But here's the thing. This is very similar to Libra, actually. I just did them not too long ago. If you don't put this into action yourself, if you don't start making these changes, speaking up about these things, it's going to come and slap you right in the face. Because we have that third Jupiter-Pluto conjunction this month. Yeah. It actually is going from the 8th, I want to say, like from the 8th to the 12th is when it's supposed to be happening. And so we're actually, as I read this, we're in it. And if things aren't being forced now to talk about them, to deal with what obviously needs to be dealt with, to communicate at the very least about it, it's going to happen anyways, okay? And you don't want it to look a lot like this. I mean, these, oof, I don't like that these two cards came up like this in the face of that, but it's a pretty obvious situation when you have, if you let the universe do it for you, we're going to end up here. And if you do it, we're going to end up here. So which would you choose? Now that you have both of them in front of you, now that you can look at both paths, both choices, are you going to sit and let the universe take away something that you love, someone that you love, because you haven't been growing in this relationship because we haven't been communicating on a real level about the real things that need to be talked about, because you're not communicating about your true feelings. You have to, because we don't want to end up here, right? Especially if you're in a long-term relationship. You got to put the cards on the table this month. Whether you think it might lead to an end of that relationship or not, it's totally up to you. Unsurprisingly, you actually do have control of this situation. Like you do with most things in your life. You have control of this, whether you feel like you do or not. So, again, either let this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction and then the Scorpio new moon and then the Gemini full moon lunar eclipse actually at the end of the month. Let that all begin at whatever. We have enough astrology coming after that that's going to rip the rug right out from under you. So you can live like that, or you can start putting yourself in a position of power and control and give your relationship, especially if it's a long-term one and you do want to fix it, you do want to work on it, a fighting chance. Don't you want to do that? Communicate. That's really all it takes this month, is communicating all of this and how much we really want to do this. I think you'll be surprised by how that conversation goes. I really do. Because you know what? Even if it ends the relationship, you have to understand. You have to understand that it had to happen. And that these things wouldn't have come up to force you to look at this decision and the pathways that you're about to, choose between here, that you've been stuck between. Much like Libra, you have a choice this month. Libra is just making the choice. You guys are still thinking that you have a decision in this, that you have a horse to bet on, but you don't. It'll happen. Libras are doing it, but you can either let it happen or you can do it. Again, it's talking about our attachment, especially to these some of these past situations, relationships. That kind of stuff might come up as well. Let's just bring that up too, because that might be part of what needs to be spoken and communicated about. If somebody from your past comes in, ooh, I felt that in my root chakra. You got throat chakra and root chakra problems this month, and you got to address them, right? For some of you, again, like I said, that person that comes back might seem like sunshine and roses, and you might not be able to stop thinking about them. And I'm not going to say it's going to end up successfully. It might seem it. Might seem really amazing. Wow, they're back and it's wonderful and it's amazing. And this connection, and we're in love and it's beautiful. And wow, I can't believe it. The situation is subject to change. Let's just say that. And if it's somebody that's coming back from the past and you're already in a relationship, that's a whole new level of complication. But if that is happening for you, you need to understand the role that this person, this situation, this ex, ooh, I got like such a ringing in my ear. So yeah, you will understand the role of it, or you need to again view it, because it has a lot to do with jumping at something that looks and seems beautiful and wonderful and easy and amazing, and something that we don't have to put effort into, and that might actually nurture us back, right? We don't want to feel like the only person that's putting out that nurturing energy, that's loving others, that's being there for others, that's being that solid, stable, source of energy for whoever you've been in a relationship with, or again, even your friendships, your family, all of it. You want to be taken care of too. And the thing is, do you want to be taken care of starting it this way? It doesn't seem right to go behind someone's back, to be thinking about what we can get from this situation in that respect, just to get out of where we're in, what we're at, and not have to deal with that choice. It's confusing, it's messy, and it doesn't feel like a solid or stable time for you guys, but it's seeing the role that all these players had. It's almost like, I don't know, if you guys have read or watched Game of Thrones, you'll know obviously that a lot of characters died throughout it as you move through it, but they all had a role to play up until that point. Their role was to get this person here, to start this, to do this, and of course the series on television butchers it, and I don't want to even get into that, but in the books it's so much more prevalent that certain characters lead the story to this point of change, of transformation, of forced change and transformation for you guys. But so yeah, that's not going to be what you think it is. It's not it's not exactly a boat that you can take to get away from wherever you're at. It's more of a temporary raft, if that's what you're wondering. Is it the thing that you can jump to get out of this and then not deal with this and settle yourself in there, ingrain yourself in there? No, it's definitely not that. This person, this thing from the past is not that. But it does do something. It does do something, right? It forces you to feel the weight of some of your poor decisions. I mean, we're going to get into that Virgo moon mode there with that Nine of Swords. Watch out for that. The fear, the worries, the things that keep you up at night, the things you can't stop thinking about. Why did I do that? How did that make me look? Why did this person do this? Do people really like me? All those things that Virgos think about at night. But again, this is deeper than that. This is much deeper than that because it's about a specific situation, a person, a relationship. And it's time to pull out all those swords and see that dawn is actually breaking over the horizon. But we have to talk about all of this to get there. We have to confront this. We have to deal with it. And like I said, if you choose to not deal with it head on, things will happen that will force it. If it's not the universe, if it's not just the actual astrology just happening at you, forcing other people to do it to you so that you have to face it, and starting these conversations, it will be this person from the past coming in to make a big mess. So don't get tempted by the past if you're in a relationship. But at the same time, it might be something that's so irresistible and you can't step away from it, and that's really what triggers this whole thing. But you have to know that that's what actually gets you here. And that when you start treating love and emotions better, and you start putting effort, energy into that, and start feeling happier, more joyful, more aligned with your own happiness and what you need, and your own needs emotionally, that once all that baggage falls away, once we clear out that clutter, it leaves you not just emotional growth room, but finance. I mean, that's really what, again, like I was saying in the beginning, now we're full circling it here. It's what brings in those finances. It's what brings in these work and relationship opportunities through work. Relationships at work will soar. You will have amazing ideas that will take off. If they haven't already started, you might have new ideas and new partnerships that you want to jump into and see, and you start to feel a lot of success with, and then see it. It happens so quickly and so wonderfully. So don't be alone with your emotions and what you're thinking, what you're feeling this month. Talking about it up front is going to be a lot more helpful. And I think, I'm telling all the signs, I think it's a Scorpio season thing, but what you fear is not as scary and not as horrible as you've made it up to be when you actually confront it this month, okay? So, wow, Virgos, you guys. Let's use a Stacey DeMarco Halloween Oracle, actually, because I think that if we use my more complex one, I don't think we need that for this reading, right? I don't think we need it. All right. I love you guys so much, okay? Okay, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And if you guys haven't, make sure to subscribe. Check me out over on Instagram at Deku Tarot if you want to book a reading. All the info is always right below this video in the description box. What's this coming out of the middle? What's this? Nothing, I guess? Okay. Doesn't want to come up upright. I'm not going to take it. Maybe it's not this deck. Sometimes I pick up a deck and I think it's going to be this one. No, okay. Never mind. It served us. As soon as I started to doubt it, it was like, screw you. I was just taking my time. Much like how people are going to be treating you after you finally make these huge changes in your life. They're going to be like, wow, finally, amazing. You finally changed. Like, your life is different now. Instead of the same old stuff that we were all seeing you do and just letting you do. And we all knew you weren't going to be satisfied. And it's like, okay, whatever. Ghost. So, regret. This brings up our regrets. And like I said, 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords reverse, 3 of Swords. There's regrets. And I think a lot of them are going to be not talking about them until now. That's going to be a major regret. So start talking about how you feel. Should the ghost come gliding into your life during divination, it may indicate that you have some regrets to let go of. Holding grudges or regrets is burdensome work and it weighs us down eventually. By taking actions to free ourselves of these old burdens, we clear the way for more rightful and wise action for the future. We can begin to live again fully if we let go of what was and step into new possibilities. You got one more right along with it, so we're going to go with it as well. When everybody gets 2 cards, but you did. I love this. Creating through the ashes, because, yeah, things are going to end this month. We didn't see the death card here, but I think enough of the other cards were around to prove that, right? Okay. Creating through the ashes. Sometimes we wish for a life different from the one we have, and that can mean radical change. Sometimes to have that new life, everything falls apart to make it so. And that can be uncomfortable. We may lose our jobs. We may break up in our relationships, or they may change. We might lose a job or have to move house or become ill. All big events that lead to the reassessment of the how of our lives. The Skull of Flowers illustrates that there is a sureness and yet a rawness to creating again, to starting afresh. Sometimes the universe gives us a blank slate to work from so we can build what we really want rather than just settling for less. The Skull of Flowers celebrates not just a kind of phoenix energy, but an energy of success and full bloom through adversity. And that's really what you guys are getting to. Full bloom, but you got to prune yourself. You got to prune your life here. All right. I love you guys so, so much. Again, if you want to book a reading, all the info is below. If you are interested in getting your birth chart done, compatibility chart analysis done, numerology analysis done, check out Truly Divine. They're a wonderful service, and you can use my code DQ30 as many times as you want to get 30% off. So check them out, guys, and have a wonderful and blessed rest of November. I love you guys so much. Namaste.